select it. So I'm going to slip this. I'm actually going to slip this by 2 frames. Let's see. Well, I'll give it a try on 2 and see if it works. Yeah. And you know, if I want to crack this up just a little bit, yeah, just crack it up. Maybe I'll pull it back 1 frame. Oops, not that, wrong one. Pressing the translate back 1 frame. Let's see. Nope. It's working better there. And maybe bring it down a bit. It feels a bit exaggerated. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so we've got it kind of functioning. And of course this is on 25. If I want to see if this is gonna, this should work perfectly fine. You know, if I go to this, I can press on this. I press and make a key here on the bottom control. Go to 13. I'm just gonna make another key and move this out. Let's have a wee look at this. Create a polygon primitives plane and make that a bit bigger. There we go. And then we can set this guy off, and let's see. Well, the first thing I have to do is I'm just going to bring this up a second. Ooh, that's annoying. Where's that going? Oh. So docking things is always a pain. Well, it shouldn't be a pain, but for some reason it's a pain on my computer. Oh God. Anyway, so wait a minute. God, I hate this docking business. Right, I'm going to pull this off again. Maybe there's an easy way of doing this docking business, but I find it very annoying. Anyway, so I'm going to... Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this and get this back to where it should be. Alright, back again. Docking. Okay, so we've got the guy. I was going to see how well he walked. Let's go to the perspective view. Of course, I've forgotten to save. Save again. Save scene as. Always version up. I'll make this version 3. Right. Okay, and let's have a look at this. So I'm going to make sure that in my layers, I'm going to add this plane to the layer, and then I'm going to make it so I can't select it. Now I'm going to go and have a look at these curves. So my translate Z, I want this to be linear, and I'm going to go curves, post infinity, cycle with offset, so it just carries on. Now you can see sliding back a bit here, so all I have to do is go into the curve, select this point, and oops, I'll make sure this isn't on, the translate button instead, and drop the gradient. So let's see, now it's going the other way, still going the other way. Still going the other way slightly. That looks about right. Let's turn these off. And let's go to this guy. Select all his controllers. Whoops. Show none. Show nerves, curves. Select them all minus this. Minus the one that I'm moving forward. Make sure they're looping. Curves, pre-infinity, cycle. They might not all be. Curves, post-infinity, cycle. Make sure they're not. I'm going to crack this onto 100, so I've got a few cycles of this. Just have a look at this, and then I'll make this show polygons. So then, yeah, off he goes. Walking down the road. Now we have some finessing to do. I mean, this isn't he's got a bit of a stamp in his foot, which is I wanted him stamping. I don't know if it's too much. You can always bring it down. It's quite easy. If you think, oh god, stamping too much, you could go to this and just reduce this slightly. And I'll just do it on the other foot. So translate Y, just reduce it a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you have to. Anyway, so you get the idea. And now, well, there's some nice little overlap that we can put on him that is quite good. So I'm just going to pull this back, and I'm going to make it 25 again, 25 frames, and I'm going to show you how we can add some nice overlap to his hair, so you get the kind of bouncing hair thing going on. And that is, actually I'm also going to mute this so we don't have it. So translate Y, right click, mute selected. So I'm going to go into the hair now. So I'm just going to select this one here, and it's going up and down. Now, what makes the hair go up and down? Well, it's obviously the hair's going up and down because of the head motion and the body motion. So I'm just going to take the, now this is also on a rotate, this is a kind of rotate Z. So I'm going to borrow the rotate X from the head, which is here. Where's the head? Oh, it's here, sorry. So the rotate X motion, I'm going to borrow this. I'm just going to copy this, edit, copy, and I'm trying to flesh this out without having to reanimate everything. I'm going to go to the first frame, and you can see here that this is going to be pasted into the, I'll just select onto the Z rotation. So I'm going to click S here, so I get a key in all the frames. Go to rotate Z, and then just go edit, paste. And let's see what this looks like. So go curves, post-infinity cycle, curves, pre-infinity cycle. So we're going to make sure this is working. So let's see. So when haze goes up, the head will come down, and it will come up again. Well, it seems to be working. I'm going to offset this by a frame. Let's see. Yeah. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to shove this on the next one along. So I'm going to copy this frame 2, edit, copy. I'm going to go to the next. I'm going to do frame 3 this time. Rotate. I'm going to go edit, paste. Make sure this is cycling. Curves, pre-infinity cycle, curves, post-infinity cycle. Let's see. So he's got this, yeah. You know, I might want to pull this down. I might want it more in the down than in the up. I might want it more like this. And then I do the same thing. I go to frame 4 this time, or frame 5. You have to kind of, there's no sort of hard fast rule for this. Go to rotate Z, edit, paste. I'm not going to do this for all the hair follicles because the principle's the same. You can see how it works. Curves, pre-infinity cycle, curves, post-infinity cycle, and then we've got this. All the hair works in this way, and there. So that's you do that for all the different types of hair, and you can. If I let him translate, I'll just unmute this. So I'll pull this camera back a bit. So you can, and you've got a bit of a. Let's see. I'll take it to 100. You got this. I mean, actually, the knees are popping a little bit, but you get the idea. You can get quite a nice fluid animation, and by using these effects. So, before I go, of course, what I would also do, once you've got it working the way you want it to, once it's all good to go, minus the main control, I would again, you go through these processes. So I would save the scene, and I would then bake out the animation. So I go save scene as, and this would be a new version. I might even call it Stuart Walk. It's always good to have versions you can go back to. I call it bake, and I call it, maybe make it version 4. Oops, not 34, 4. And I'd save that, and then I'd maybe go to frame 25 and I'll just make this 25 frames long, and I just bake it out there. So edit keys, bake simulation, and no smart bake, no cape unbake keys. Press bake, boom, off it goes. Mine's about to crash now probably. Oh, there you go, fatal error. Okay, so every time I try and bake this, so you'll be glad to know you're not the only ones. Maya crashes, but ideally speaking, I would bake out 25 frames and then loop them. I mean, there are other ways around this, such as importing this into a fresh scene and starting again, but for the time being, for whatever reason, this is how you get the walk cycle. And then you can use all the other processes I've taught you in the other videos, such as baking it out, making small variations, and maybe doing a few loops. So hope this is beneficial. Yeah, the cutting and pasting can give you some nice effects straight off the bat. It's not foolproof. You have to go in and you know and adjust things. I mean, I can see there's some problems with this. There's some popping in the knees, and maybe that could be. But I think you get the notion, and you know you can create something that's relatively interesting in a short space of time. Okay, I hope you find some of this beneficial.